So I usually have a lot of things to say, especially when it comes to my personal dealings. I do have a lot of stuff to say, and it kind of boils down to basically how frustrating it is to kind of work in a little bit of I'm not trying to make things into any sort of pathetic or sympathetic kind of thing, but it is difficult to work in isolation, and it's not. It's definitely something by choice. I mean, I do have options in terms of going down to the coffee shop, or or taking a long walk or whatever. But the winter time, for something that's outside of my direct control, the weather is kind of prohibitive. I can't. When it's minus 30 degrees Celsius outside, you can't just walk out and do whatever during the day. And those are sometimes the more relaxing aspects of solitude. Kind of taking long walks, like doing things by yourself. I guess the room kind of exacerbates the isolation a little bit, which is fine. I mean, like I said, what I think I'm gonna do is do a lot of housekeeping videos, but I'm not gonna post them widely. I'm just gonna do them and just have them quietly fade into the background. So there's tons of stuff to talk about. Like, I mean, the first thing I want to talk about is this book I recently self-published. There's no weight behind it in terms of accolades or reviews or anything like that, even on a negative sense. To be quite honest, like, what was I expecting, right? I mean, I self-published, and I'm sure there's it was on a website called blurb.com, and I'm sure there's a lot of very successful people on blurb.com. But there's a certain objet d'art that actually that is the essence of self-publishing when it comes to websites like blurb.com. Um, so yeah, I wasn't expecting anything to sell or anything like that, but I have to say, I mean, on the first iteration of the book, it was definitely a first try at self-publishing, and I wasn't expecting it to go anywhere, blah blah blah. But I mean, the algorithms on blurb.com just made it so professional. I mean, I actually held one copy, the one copy that I ordered, I held it in my hands, and I thought, wow, like, they really did a good job at the substrate and the printing, and even like even without having any tangible connection to what you're about to publish. I mean, it turned out so great. I wouldn't say exactly as I had imagined the object would be, but but it just turned out so great. It was a really a piece of something to behold. It really was like, it's like those novelty sort of like, man of the year on timemagazine.com or whatever. Like, you hold a physical magazine and your picture's on the cover and you're thinking, not that my picture was anywhere in the book, but like, I mean, you hold that picture, that magazine with your picture on the front, and you think, wow, that's like, I mean, that is so professional. It kind of elevates your status, right? I mean, much more so than say maybe something like Facebook would do. But that's a subtle kind of difference. But it kind of emboldened me to actually do a second version of the same book. And I did really delve into the details of the book. The volume two, as we're calling it, me and my friend Andrew, has actually, it's not published yet. There's no printed copies or anything like that. It's still just sitting on my hard drive. But like, I did feel a lot of energy being worked out in volume two, in terms of perfection and detail and professionalism. So yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna take this. I mean, there have been people that have bought volume one, and I'm thinking maybe a reissue. I mean, there were no pretenses in terms of what it was. I mean, it really was just basically, pages and pages of content I didn't even create, but pages and pages of content that was well thought out, sort of accumulated over the years. Like, I mean, 7 years of historic thought. I mean, it was almost biblical, to tell you the truth. Um, so it's interesting in the sense that the content is very interesting, but in terms of like attention to detail, publishing detail, etc., etc., I'm new to it. but I do find this renewed hope in terms of publishing, and like I said, Volume 2 is way different than Volume 1. But anyway, enough of that. I mean, I hate, sometimes I say things as if they're big things, but they're not. I mean, whatever. Um, um, Interesting experience. And what else? I can't really think of anything else much on the housekeeping side, but I did watch Heather McDonald on the Rubin Report just a few minutes ago, and um, I gotta say, like, when I hear these people talk, I mean, they throw a lot of statistics at you, they throw a lot of interesting ideas at you, and I don't think Dave Rubin chooses stupid people to be on his show. Like, I don't think Dave Rubin is just some sort of like right-wing nutjob wannabe that just invites right-wing nutjob wannabes on his show. Like, I mean, I think Dave Rubin actually thinks about his guests and understands their positions, etc., etc. I mean, I don't think that's unheard of. Even though sometimes he may not agree or not agree, he may agree or not agree with them. I don't know. But Heather McDonald made some interesting points when it came to women and the black community, etc., etc. And it was very refreshing to hear those opinions because I'll tell you why. I find that a lot of my opinions are getting formed by just my daily goings on, but I don't have the weight or the statistics or the intellect to throw behind it. So I find that on a certain level you see somebody on some popular channel, and they say things that make sense to you, but you can't quite statisticize what it is that they're saying, because you just quite frankly don't have that ability to staticize things that go on in your daily living. And who would want to do that anyway? Like, I mean, who would want to walk around staticizing people? But I'm saying, like, they ring true, and I mean, even these things people say, they kind of stand against maybe any sort of more liberal agenda. Anyway, so that's all I want to say. I'm probably not going to post this very widely, and yeah, we'll talk to you later. Bye.